Welcome to episode 2 of Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, the podcast. In this episode, I'm going to talk to my oldest friend Baker about 90s modern rock. This topic is an absolute dream come true. I hope you enjoy our in-depth, ridiculous conversation. In case this is your first time watching Dungeon Crawl Talk Soup, my show is one part podcast with my friends, one part perilous permadeath gaming challenge. Mostly I chat with my friends about a topic they love, but rarely get the chance to talk about at length, but at the same time, I'm trying to get my first win at Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. The catch is, if my character dies, the episode ends. Hope you enjoy the show. And we're live. That's your cue, everyone. Go nuts. That's my, what was the guy from American Idol? That was
Ryan
partners
Seacrest?
with, no, the guy that was partners with Ryan Seacrest during the first season of American Idol.
I don't know if I was a viewer of that season.
Well, he had this famous moment where he
Should I
panicked
look it up?
because, yeah, you should look it up, yeah.
See, this is the chaotic energy you're looking for.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is Brian Boldinger, and that's a former linebacker or something, right?
You got the Brian part right.
Brian something.
Oh man, what a name!
Baldinger is pretty close.
Brian Dunkelman.
Dunkelman. So he's live. He's live on the show, on the one of the very first episodes, and he panicked because the studio audience didn't go nuts right away. So he goes, "And we're live. That's your cue, everyone!" And then everyone starts shouting. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to check in the audio. I do some light edits after the fact so that folks don't have to see every single little thing. But I think also the screen should be much larger than it was in the video previously.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also zoom in quite a bit. I didn't do this with Michelle, but you see I can zoom all the way in. We can see our little guy right up close. That's as close as we can get. Actually, that doesn't look so bad.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, this doesn't look so bad. I think I can handle being nice and zoomed in like that. I hope it's nice for everyone. You can see a lot more of my beefy Minotaur. So we have...
Travis, do you want to give me the 30-second summary of what's going on with this game?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. It is a turn-based RPG. And so what we're trying to do is get from the top of the dungeon, which is Dungeon 1, and make it all the way to the bottom of the dungeon and find the Orb of Zot. And once we've found the Orb of Zot, we can try to escape from the dungeon and win the game. But it's a permadeath game, and that means that you don't save or anything. You just die. As soon as you die, it starts over. And that's important for you to know, Baker. Welcome to the show, first of all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I did listen to the first 3 minutes of the previous episode, so I do know that when you die...
When I die, we're going to be done.
How long did you make it last time?
So we went for about an hour and a half, and I did not die. So I'm still alive. This is now episode 2 of the same character, and we're on Dungeon 9, which we're the 9th floor down. That doesn't mean we're near the bottom. We're actually quite far from the bottom still. And we chose a new god to worship. His name is Akawaru. He's the god of war. I can bring up information about him, I think. There he is. He's War Master Akawaru. And he does nice little things for us. He can grant us temporary skills. And we have our beefy boy, Delmundo 2. His name is Delmundo 2 because I can't figure out how to change his name anymore. I changed it once from Delmundo 1 to Delmundo 2, but I can't remember how to how to change his name. So that's over. We have this really nice axe which sets people on fire, but it has the chance to corrode us, and it helps us resist poison, which is nice, and it helps us resist negative energy, but it makes us dumb, and so we only have 2 intelligence. And we have this ring of evasion, which helps us avoid getting hit, and this ring of poison resistance, which I think is unnecessary because you only can get 1 pip of resist poison. So I need to maybe switch that. And I have this jaunty hat that I paid for last time. I paid a bunch of money to buy this hat, so it's really nice. And basically, the game works in as turn-based, so it won't move until I move. If we sit here and are chatting and I lose track of playing the game, that's okay because the game isn't like moving around without me moving. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's if we get going and we're listening to you talk about your thing and I totally forget that I'm playing this game, which is entirely possible and happened for many, many minutes in the episode 1. Then that's fine. That's totally allowed. Because it's really just an excuse to hang out with you, man.
Right.
So, and also, I think it's been months since we've been on the phone even.
Yeah, that is true.
Why is that? What do we do? What do we do wrong?
Had 2 children each.
2 children each. We'll do that too. Yes, that's difficult. Okay, so the main premise of the show, though, is for us to get the chance to talk about your thing. And as a reminder to everybody in our fabulous audience, what I mean by thing is not the sexual term. It's what I mean by that is the thing that you always wish you could rant about and talk about, but you never get the chance to because you don't know anybody that will talk to you about it, or you're afraid to talk to people about it because you're afraid they won't want to hear about it. But guess what? I do want to hear about it. I've practiced that line, I think, in my head a bunch of times.
That's not right.
And the thing is, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is my thing. So I would love to talk to anybody about this all the time, but it is far too nerdy and weird for that to be something that I should ever do. And so now I've decided to force my friends to watch me play it via trying to learn more about them and the thing that makes them excited. And I think if I'm doing the thing I'm excited about, I think it's easy for me to get excited about the thing that you're excited about. And I like one last point, and I think I made this point last episode as well, but I find small talk to be horrible. The little bit of small talk we just did about trying to figure out when the last time we talked, it just is, or like when you run into somebody in the elevator and they're asking you how your weekend was, and you say good, and then how was your weekend, and they say good. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't like it. But I do like to hear people talk about stuff that they are passionate about. And so that's what I wanted to do more of, and I wanted to skip straight to that. And so I reached out to a bunch of friends that I haven't talked to for a while to try to get the chance to catch up about stuff that really is not important. That's the wrong term for it, but valuable or deep. And deep is the wrong term too. Some people like to say, "Oh, I like to get deep," right? Like I like to get deep with my friends. No, I don't want that either. We're not talking about deep. I'm not trying to hear your feelings. Although I wouldn't mind if you wanted this to be a therapy session. But I don't have a degree in psychology, right? I think my degree's in math. Last time we tested whether or not I knew any math, and I did pretty poorly. So that's that. Does that all make sense to you?
That makes sense.
I just did the thing where I forgot I was playing the game for a long time too. So
yep, play on. Don't.
If you have questions about the game, always stop me. See, we're already in trouble.
Okay, well, and if you need me to pause at any point to concentrate on some gameplay, you can stop me as well.
I know we're gonna beefy these guys.
Do you need it? Do you need a moment to handle this?
This is fine. I got this in control. There's this guy in white. It's not a white dude. Like it's not just being attacked by white. He's invisible. But because what it's indicating is where we last saw him. Oh, he's dead now, though, so we're good.
Okay.
I slashed something, and I burned something, and it's dead. I gave you the prompt ahead of time. We were debating it backstage in the green room.
Yeah.
But now I want to hear what you have in mind. What do you think? What's like a topic that you have been itching to talk about?
Well, I think I'm going to start by going on a tangent and not actually answering your question.
That sounds fine.
By just to preface to the listeners what I'm not going to talk about. Which is I guess if I had a a thing. Just where I'm at in life right now. I'm a high school teacher and soccer coach, and I could probably, absolutely revel you with tales of the classroom or critiques of the American educational system, or any number of things. But I think I don't want to do that. Largely because I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Right.
Out on the internet that I regret.
Yep.
So if there's ever asides or you want to ask me about something, I probably
yeah. So we're not going to talk about those things. I think I totally buy and agree with that. But before we leave them, I wonder. I want to ask Meta about those things. Are those your things? Because you're in that community, right? And it's part of your life, so you get the chance to talk about that with Emily whenever you want, or with your coworkers often whenever you want too.
Although
you just don't get to do it enough for your takes.
That your wife wants to hear all the stories of your day, but she does not always want to do that.
Right, that's fair.
So I did kind of think of that, probably especially the coaching thing.
Yeah,
and I probably there's a world, maybe in a future episode I talk about the life of the high school coach, which definitely has its interesting and strange moments.
I've asked you tons of questions about that in the past too, and I would absolutely listen to it for hours.
Well, maybe next time.
So yeah,
who knows?
Once I'm famous enough that it's worth it to you.
Maybe we end up there somehow. Yeah, and I mean I do think it's in a weird way it's my thing, in the sense that not to complain, but all our jobs have their ups and downs, but it certainly just kind of like rules my life, and I feel like I'm, during this time of the year, I'm never really like off the clock. So
okay.
Yeah, it can be a struggle sometimes for me to come up with some other passion or whatnot.
That's a good point. Like you just can't get it out of your head right now. So it's hard not to talk about it.
I could probably do a 2-hour lecture on the importance of the Haitian Revolution. It might really square me away for tomorrow's teaching and all that.
As practice.
Which I'll say is a very important movement in history, but probably not also not going to be the thing tonight, unless we end up in some weird circle here. What's happening?
Okay, well, this dude's way too powerful for us, because this redness around him means he's bad news. However, this is also... Oh, no, I don't know. See, so I was going to say, however, I do have Akuaru's granting of some light powers, and that can be valuable. But another reason that I have you here is to make me slow down and think through, like, what's the right thing to do here. And sometimes I would just run right in and fight this guy, but then our conversation would be over, and that would suck. Because if I do that, then yeah, we're for sure gonna have to say goodbye for the day. Okay, so this bullfrog just managed to hurt itself by walking up to us and getting in these scalding hot steam. But I'm gonna step back out of the steam, that's for sure. Okay, and then I'm not gonna teleport. That's not necessary. It's a little too much at this moment. I think I'll just preemptively hero. Yep, and we're gonna smoke these dudes. Okay. This is an unusually bad idea, Baker. Nope, I got it under control. I smoked them.
Well done.
Oh my god, I killed all those dudes. I'm being way too cautious. But it's because I do not want this conversation to end before it even starts. Oh my god. But I was way too powerful, those dudes. And but the red is supposed to mean that it's a dangerous character, but I smoked that guy because Akuaru gave us the hero power. So
I suppose that bodes well.
But were you stressed? Did
Me?
you understand what happened? Yeah.
I'm following along to some degree.
Okay. I only got hit just a little bit. See?
Yeah, I mean, you had me a little bit worried.
I was worried, but
I could, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So none of those things.
Okay, and then the other thing I was going to do to dance around actually delving into the topic was I was kind of interested in um because I feel like I would have predictions of or kind of normal things that I would tend to gravitate towards
Yeah.
for like my thing. And I was kind of interested in what you hypothesized I might
Oh
wind
yeah.
up talking about,
Okay.
if
Do you
I
want
may
to?
ask.
Yeah, yeah. The number one thing on my list was Michigan State football recruiting.
Yeah, so
Was that on
not
your list? Was that any short list, or was that number one?
so in stepping outside of myself, I thought of like, well, yeah, of course, like I would have some sort of like Michigan State athletics thing, which um is probably very much a thing for me, as you well know
Again,
from
because I
knowing me
assume
for
you
a
don't
very
get
long
that.
time.
Like, see, this is why I think it would be a better thing. It's because I assumed you don't have a bunch of people around you who really want to hear about it, and you probably worry about that a lot. That like, if I bring this up right now,
But
Emily's gonna be like, "Can you stop talking about that?"
so absolutely true. I think why that has is probably just not the thing is like, um, you know, right now it's not exactly the best time to be a fan of the Michigan State Spartans football team.
I knew that.
I probably don't have a lot to say about recruiting because I would imagine, you know, I'm pretty sure it's just completely in the tubes for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, but it would
I
be
don't know if
awesome to
that.
talk about Mel Tucker and all your feelings on it.
I don't know. I don't know if it'd be awesome to talk about now.
I don't want it to stress you out. That's for sure. You know,
No, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about Mel at the moment. Glad he's mostly gone.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just don't want to talk about Michigan State football.
Okay.
And there's uh, if you could probably get me going on a 2 hour rant for like, I'm sure I could easily. Who knows? Maybe we go here, but like I could probably do a nice passionate rant on like my top five favorite or my ultimate Tom Izzo era starting lineup for
Oh,
Michigan State basketball, or the five greatest MSU hoops moments of all time or something like that. Um,
oh, I
but
bet you'd have a bunch of people listening to that. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. That seemed too on the nose. Um, so it's not that.
Okay. Okay.
And here's the
Well, I was
reality.
close. I was in the right ballpark.
Yeah,
Doesn't
well,
matter.
yeah, like that's kind of a simple go-to, and I might still kind of go in that route. I'm honestly still kind of in between two things, which
Okay.
I didn't do my full homework in preparation for this assignment. We don't really need to talk
I
about
only
this
give you
on
one piece
air,
of
but
homework. Oh my god.
I know there's some things that went on, some
Yeah.
laptop
Yeah. Exactly.
mishaps, as you know.
Yes.
Um, Going back to the coaching thing, we had a brilliantly scheduled game last night that started at 7:15, an hour away, and I returned to a high school with a group of young gentlemen at like 10:30 p.m. So
Oof.
just some long nights here, but
And I should say that you thankfully um, you are my bestest friend of all friends, but you are a stand-in for the fact that I had a reschedule of someone, so I give you limited time for prep compared to
yes,
anybody else will have.
yes,
Yeah.
limited prep time, and I did decide to prioritize the preparations for my classroom
Yeah.
today
Good choice. Good
rather
choice.
than the show. So sorry, show. Um, so I'm gonna lay out my cards here.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
two things.
Okay. Okay. Fine. We can choose
This is
between them.
not
Yeah.
this is not what Travis wanted. Um,
Maybe it will be going forward, though. You know. Maybe he'll be like, you
Perhaps.
choose two things, and I get to choose the which one of them.
Well, I think we're gonna do that right now.
Okay.
So I think the first thing is the sports related one was I basically just had some super cool stories that I kind of wanted to talk about, um, and that most people really don't want to listen to them, or like I don't know. There's just not really an opening to actually talk about these things. But I was going to detail my five favorite or five. most memorable and strange, um, not like greatest sports trips, but more of the theme of like sports related travel odysseys that
Yes.
led me to strange
Oh
places
my God.
and times, most of which I think you don't really know about.
Oh
Or
my gosh,
maybe,
this is very exciting. Okay.
yeah, otherwise I wouldn't necessarily bore you to death with just
I
a
would not
rehash
be
of all
bored.
these
Oh,
things.
with things I'd heard before, I think I'd still find ways to ask good questions about it.
I
But
had
you're right.
total faith that you would. Um, the other thing that I was thinking about, and I when you gave me the premise of the show, my mind immediately did go to like something that I had recently kind of been thinking about, and when I tried to bring it up, my lovely wife basically was like, I don't care, like go like brush the kids' teeth,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
This is not.
it's time to get them ready for bed. Um, but it seems even in my old age, Travis, you're turning 40 soon, right?
That's right. I'm
Did
turning
I miss
40
it?
a month from today. Yeah,
All right.
no, it's
I
coming
thought
very soon.
I knew it was November. Um,
Oh
yeah. Yeah, well, it's
my gosh.
fun times, let me tell you.
Yes, I'm good at celebrating my birthday.
Um, but wow. Okay, so yeah, in my old age, I lost my train of thought yet again.
Okay,
Um,
so this is what we're going to talk about.
so I I feel like even as an old man, I am realizing, surrounded by teenagers in particular, that that the '90s seem to be having a moment again.
Yes. Okay.
Like they're cool again, right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
Um,
I believe
so
so. I work at
so
a music company, so I'm allowed to say these things now.
yeah. Um, and when I think about Travis and our relationship together,
Yeah.
I feel like we have a bond that goes back to like
Yeah.
our days listening to '90s alternative rock.
Yes.
And I the other day my kids expressed some interest in some songs that they heard on we were having a lovely time listening to some Sirius XM lithium station on
Oh
the
man,
way
that's
home
just
from school,
yes.
and they
That's the best.
they didn't tell me to change it. And like I'll admit, like, while I grew up on a lot of that music, like definitely spent a lot of the last 20 to 25 years just trying to get away from it and not being that interested in much of that genre. But I feel like I'm reaching some nostalgia with it, I suppose. And I was trying to explain to my wife why, like, don't you think this song that we just heard was like the quintessential, '90s alternative rock song? And she just had no time for that conversation. I thought, well, I could see how Travis might.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was tinkering with the idea of I haven't necessarily set all the parameters yet. I thought it might be more fun to do some of it on the fly, and that it doesn't need a lot of parameters. Some of it could just be more, I don't know, some je ne sais quoi
Yeah.
of figuring out like what songs
Yeah.
from like 1995 through 1999
Yeah.
are like the songs that explain, not explain, that are like the '90s alternative rock genre. So
Totally.
I was just going to
So,
kind of like live do that.
okay.
Um,
I like that. So, I have a recommendation is that we do both, but not and we do the music stuff first. And if we get to some level of completion to that conversation and debate, then we can feel like we can transition to hear one or two of
no,
your
Sporting
travel
travel
stories.
entities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll decide like at that point whether or not we have enough, how much more energy we have left to successfully continue, or whether we want to do one or two or five, right? Because I think that the thing about this choice is that the '90s music thing. I feel like it's not stories, although we could include stories. It's not stories.
I'm sure. I
It's
feel like some stories might come up through it.
That's true, but it's not something that it has the chance to be a thing where we get to the bottom of it real fast. Or maybe not.
Yeah,
But between if it's just since it's just you and me talking about it, I think it's very likely. If I had a different person on debating me about it, that might not be true, but
Yeah. I
I
mean,
would
this
love to start there because
could go horribly wrong too.
it could go well. I have horrible taste in music. Okay, so
Well, so I really the 2 minutes that I did prepare and think about this, I wanted to preface to anyone who listens to this that I think some songs that will be brought up and might even be deemed to be quintessential 90s alternative rock songs that might be horrendous songs that the majority of people would not like. I might not like them, but that wouldn't mean that
okay,
they
that's
aren't.
fair.
But that wouldn't mean that they aren't just part of the culture.
Yes, absolutely.
I think there's probably also a difference between the song I enjoyed when I was 14 and a song now, and then there might be some opposites where I thought the song was super lame, and now I'm like, you know what, it was okay.
I also think I have many friends who are more well suited to have this debate than the two of us.
Oh, for
That
sure.
like work in the music industry or like have had successful bands, and the two of us are just gonna be like, no, but we're the ones that need to be on the internet talking
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
they should absolutely skewer us later.
Yeah,
And
but they're not here to stop us, so like it's our show.
I think like a important maybe one parameter to set here is I think we're very much talking uh you know uh, overplayed top 40
Yeah, exactly.
alternative
Good point.
style songs, like, sorry out there to anyone, but we're not necessarily talking like the college rock station.
Butt rock, not so much butt rock.
Yeah,
But
we're I mean, yeah. I mean, there's certain bands that I'm not going to allow to make our final list, but
I don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're going pretty mainstream here.
yeah. No, wait. I'm gonna have to debate you on even that though potentially because there's some bands that I've really found a new liking to that I'm willing to admit to, potentially mostly because of hilarious TikTok memes, but
True.
that I'm like, oh, I actually like this song, and I think I don't regret it.
Yeah, I think we
That's what we're
gotta.
looking for here, right?
I think we're looking for that.
Yeah. Um, uh, I'm gonna mention this thing that I don't think I've ever talked to you about. There's this app that I was introduced to at work called Music League.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you get together with a group of friends and you make a playlist together by each secretly submitting one song based on the topic. And so it might be like we were talking about late 90s alternative rock, and then you all then vote on those anonymous submissions and decide who wins based on the vote. And I've been in a music league with like Matt and Fabian and them for about a year now, I guess maybe a little less or half year. And I think I've come in last place in almost every single thing we've done. And almost every time I come in last place. And also it's completely transparent which song is going to be mine in the list, as I am far more pop emo than everyone else, and my taste is very strangely specific. So, how do you want to? Do you have any ideas of how you want to go about this? Oh, wait, that was part one of my preface to this. I had another preface, which was a
Yes.
joke that I told to some friends, and they didn't get it or like it at all. So here's
Okay.
how that joke went: is no, I don't. It's pretty awful. I guess the joke was I was like, do you think that we would have less of a meth epidemic in America if that one song hadn't had the doot doot doots in it the whole way through? And what I was referring to is Semi Charmed Life, and the fact that that song is actually about doing crystal meth with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so many people just are like toot toot toot, 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 toot. And I'm like, if that song didn't have those, then maybe people wouldn't. Then maybe the pharmaceutical industry wouldn't have ruined our country.
Yeah. That's
So I thought we were going to talk about politics stuff.
Yeah.
Baker.
Well, I don't know. I have to get the edit button ready.
I didn't make any moves during that whole rant, so I could edit that out. But We'll
I
talk
think
about it in
I don't
post.
know. I think that's a interesting take
It's
that may
not
have to be left in.
it's not a funny joke though. I'll figure out how to land that joke. It has something to do with the doot.
Hmm. I don't know if it
Any,
needs to be a joke. It may just be a hypothesis.
it's a hypothesis in the framing of a joke. I don't
Yes.
actually believe that.
Okay. For the record.
For the record, for everyone's gratification, I don't actually believe that.
I,
Okay.
now that you bring it up, I mean, if someone was to create you like a list of, you know, songs that are mainstream mid to late '90s alternative rock, I feel like "Semi Charmed Life" would have to be
It has to be
a
on the
serious
list.
contender. Yeah.
Despite the incredibly poppy doots. It's
With it.
it
Yeah.
is it is undeniable song. It generates unbelievably loud crowds at any sporting event. Um, Immediately recognizable.
Mhm.
But also is like one of the most popular like drug songs of all time.
Could be a topic for another episode.
Yeah, one of the top most drug like highest streamed drug songs.
Drug,
Although,
drug, drug anthems.
yeah, drug anthems.
Or maybe, ones that aren't overtly drug anthems.
The song's not positive towards being a drug addict, I guess. Now, if you speak to the time to think about it, because he's saying, "I don't want this life,"
True.
but it does make it kind of glamorous.
I wonder how many
So,
90s kids were really analyzing those lyrics.
no, that's exactly my point. Is most people have no idea that that song is about doing crystal meth with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So the band I was referencing that I think is potentially on your list of don't includes is Creed.
Yeah, that's a tough one. In the sense that like I'm predicting we have some songs that are I don't know, aren't great or maybe haven't like stood the test of time. Um and there might be just a few bands that are like right like yeah, they're a bridge too far. Like I don't know.
I
We
don't
just
think I can
can't
handle it.
recognize like the Creeds and the Nickelbacks of the world.
What about Lincoln Park?
Ugh,
I always hated that garbage.
like yeah. No, I don't think they're gonna make it for me.
Butt rock is what I call that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But Nickelback's meme worthy, and they're probably the
That is very true. I don't know. Maybe they make it. I also feel like some of their stuff might just be a little bit too late in the time window for
oh okay
some of the very deep structured parameters that I'm setting here.
okay. You can look at
Um,
those things. You can pull up
I I
Spotify and check.
I have a couple tabs pulled open
Oh, nice.
to bring a little tiny bit of structure to this meandering wild conversation.
Um,
Um,
but Creed's got this like meme going where like,
Creed's got a meme.
and they don't. I don't think they
Yeah.
are like
Oh,
privy to it.
right.
But it'll be like a picture of a like Oktoberfest beer, and then it'll be Scott Stapp being like, "Hello, my friend, we'll meet again. It's been a minute. Where should we begin?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's perfect.
It's good stuff.
I want exactly that."
All
Oh my
right.
god, I'm about to die.
Oh,
Oh my god, we're in real trouble. No, maybe not. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna heal the wounds. And then we're just gonna bash these dudes. I believe in me. Oh, I definitely killed something. Oh, we're still alive. Okay, we're good. This thing is a pain in the ass, but I don't think I'm gonna lose to it. Yeah. Oh, that was scary. I got too confident. I got overconfident. Oof, we almost ended our conversation before we got going. Tell me about what one of the tabs you have open before we lose.
yeah. So I have gone to the Wikipedia list of Billboard modern rock track number ones of the 1990s, but I'm gonna
Modern rock
scroll
number
past
ones.
the early 90s
Yeah.
because we're 1983 babies, and
Yeah.
some of that stuff. I guess I'm going a little bit like post grunge here.
Yeah, totally.
Just not like 1990 stuff. Like that's I don't know. We haven't really reached peak alternative rock yet. So I have scrolled down to 1995, at which point it basically shows me the
The CD
the
case
number
that was
one
in
song.
the CD case that was in your car on the way to
Yes,
school.
yes, just sleeves upon sleeves of discs. Um, yeah, where it is showing me the songs that reached number one on the alternative rock chart, Billboard. And if they were on number one for weeks and weeks and weeks, then there's just no new song until the next time someone takes over. So
Yeah.
on occasion, we have new champions each week, and then other times we go for 6 or 7 weeks straight with just a number one hit. Um, so I considering that I haven't planned this out very well, and the little part that I did, my laptop is
Oh.
hopefully in my classroom.
Yeah.
Um, I was maybe just going to read some of these songs. I might skip a few that I'm just have zero interest in, and they're
Yeah.
just do not reach my level of impactment. Um, but I would say the first song of 1995,
Yeah, let's go.
seemingly holding down the number one spot for 6 weeks, was uh, Green Day's "When I Come Around,"
Yeah.
which I would say is a fairly consequential mainstream alternative rock song of the mid '90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Um, Green Day, like, I listened to this whole story about them coming up through East Bay Punk and and all the stuff that brought them there, and then they had a Broadway play.
Yeah,
So they've gone quite a distance since mid '90s. Um, and the fact that they kind of wandered so pop. I mean, obviously they're not playing like bubblegum pop, but they've wandered so pop. I guess all these modern rock bands were pop in order to be number one. But
yeah,
they kind of like they'll probably be one of the only few punk bands on this list
I would imagine so.
because it'll go into yeah, like you said, post grunge more often than punk. I love
Yeah,
this song.
yeah.
It's not
I'm,
close. It's not even close to my favorite song on that album. It's probably number 7 or 8 on that album for me. But I love
I
the
guess
song.
just a
Great
side note,
album.
I do believe it was the first, or my amongst my first batch of CD purchases on my own
Dookie.
was Dookie. So
It's such a great album.
what a prescient 11-year-old I was.
Yeah, but if we're going for me saying things that everybody's gonna disagree with, and we're gonna scare off any audience we ever had,
Do it, do it.
um, I like Nimrod. I like Nimrod more than Dookie. I think
Sure.
it's a better album. I think it's awesome that there are like 18 songs. I think King for a Day is a quintessential or like early essential LGBT song. Um, I think that Nice Guys Finish Last is just an unbelievably, incredibly awesome way to start an album. The way that it just slams those drums for those first 4 seconds, I just think that that song deserves way more credit than it ever got. Nice Guys Finish Last, and I think that Redundant is a wonderful song, and
Hmm.
Scattered, and obviously I know Nimrod inside and out because when I was a kid or when I was in high school, and I had to hurry my ass up to get up and have breakfast, and then run a half mile to your house to get a ride to school. This the 3 disc Casio CD player in my room would always turn on and play the first song on the first album that was in there, and it 9 times out of 10 was Nimrod, and that first 4 seconds of um, of Nice Guys Finish Last. And this story is that the other part of the story is that I would hear the CD player kick in, and it would start rotating and spinning, getting ready to play. And I would remember that, oh, last night I was listening to music very loud, and I really should run to the other side of this room. I have to jump out of bed and run over there and quickly turn off the the speakers before I like wake up everybody in the house. And that's a hell of a way to wake up.
Yeah.
I guess the slightly more hell of a way to wake up is to literally hear those first 4 drum beats of Nice Guys Finish Last, banging as hard as they can. Great way to start an album. So anyway, When I Come Around, what do you think of When I Come Around?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I have any like hot takes on the song itself, other than I do feel like apparently as like a 11 and a half year old, if I'm reading this chart correctly, like I just remember that song being a really big deal.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, music video being on a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have that much to say about it. Other than like, I thought that song was really, really cool when I was a young lad. So I think it's got potential to stay on this list. I'm going to write some of these songs down as
okay. I think that one's not gonna make it. Not for me.
I think that's fair.
It's not even the best song on that album. I already talked about this, but
yeah.
Basket Case.
Although
Basket Case is more quintessential than When I Come Around.
I would agree. If I scroll back up, it was number 1 for 5 weeks in August and September of 1994.
94.
So, yeah, sorry, Basket Case. You just
didn't make the
very
cut.
few parameters here, but you're just didn't make the cut.
It's not late 90s because it's a 4. And
yeah,
it's not late in the 10s. I haven't read mathematics. So this is the thing I know, is that 4 is not late in the 10s. So yeah, okay, Basket Case is out. You're right. Dang.
All right.
Okay, that changes things pretty dramatically.
Yeah. Well,
you're clever.
That's what the parameters get you.
You got me on that one, 90s.
All right.
Technicality.
I'm gonna continue down the list here. I'm gonna skip over a few as well, but just for to recognize it, the song that eventually knocked Green Day off was Live's Lightning Crashes.
Oh, that's a good song. No, that song's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
I like it though. I did buy that album. No, I never bought that album. No, I bought the next album.
Did you have the next live album? I feel like we
I had both of the next one and the one after that. I think I might have had the next three live albums, but I never had the one with Lightning Crashes. I had the one with the dolphin on the cover, and I think the song is like When Dolphins Fly or something.
Yeah.
And then I had the one with that was Black, Secret Samadhi. And then I had the one with the blue wings on it, which is Heaven. I had Heaven on it. This reminds me.
Yes.
and I wanted to say this right off the bat when you brought it up, but I have recently been trying to remind everyone that I talk to that this era of music is oldies. Just so you know, we're talking about oldies now. And we are two guys in our late 30s, almost 40, having a conversation about oldies. And and like we would be doing this around a campfire if we could right now, and just think about your life when you were a teenager and who around you was the two old guys talking about oldies. Oh man, gosh, I sure did love Steely Dan, and
you can correct me as the maths major here, but I just did some quick maths, and I mean, us talking about these songs from 28 years ago would be the equivalent of us listening to Old Men. If it was 28 years ago in 1995, it'd be like the music of 1967.
Yeah, we'll just get I'm thinking about going to Woodstock next year.
Man,
holy moly! Okay, yeah, I mean the Beatles would be in mid awesome mode.
Well, maybe that's why this stuff's I don't know, cool again. It's like I feel like
that stuff was cool for us too.
Late 60s had a moment.
Yeah,
again.
I think you're right. I mean, I
Yeah.
loved listening to people talk about oldies then too.
Yeah. Still a
Okay,
bit different.
okay. What's next? Live.
Well,
I have way too
next
many
one is
live albums. Everybody heard that part too, so that's
yeah,
fine.
that is interesting that you're a man who owns
Never really liked them.
not just multiple, but at least three. It would seem.
I had three different live albums. Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. I never
you
really liked them.
and the lead singer's mother. Um,
Yeah.
you remember that man's name?
I,
I'm sure I knew it at some point.
I have a feeling I knew it at some point,
Was
but
it Ed?
that one's
I feel
gone.
like it was Ed
Ed
something.
sounds right. Ed does sound right. That sounds very
Maybe
close.
now that I mentioned it, I'm going to look it up. His name was Ed Kowalczyk,
Ed Kowalczyk. That's great.
a
I'm glad you
rock
knew that.
band formed in York, Pennsylvania. That's only about an hour north of me. Fascinating.
It is
Um,
fascinating. Take
so
that live.
the next song, Travis, you're going.
Gonna love it.
This is a Travis.
It's gonna
This is a
be
Travis song.
Jumper.
It is better than Ezra's good.
I love that song. I also don't love that album that much, but I love the second album more. At the Stars and yeah, At the Stars is my big Better Than Ezra song. I heard a Norm Macdonald joke yesterday,
Yes.
and it went Rolling Stone just recently announced its top 50 modern rock bands. At number one, Better Than Ezra. At two, Ezra. That went pretty well. I did a pretty good job telling that Norm Macdonald joke. So that's a great song. It's very memorable.
Yeah.
And Desperately Wanting is also on that album. Did that come out before Good or after?
Well, I'm gonna say that
Oh, is it going to be on the list
my
later? Have you checked? I doubt it. I doubt
I
that
don't
would be
think
on the
I don't
list.
think it reached number one. There is only so much
There's
this
an
world can
endless
handle.
supply of modern rock bands where I like their second biggest song more than their biggest song. There's an endless supply of them.
Yeah.
I think we could do this for hours, and I would constantly like their second biggest song more than their first song. So
Travis.
I had a weird
Files.
like underdog complex.
Yeah.
What did you think of? Did you have this album?
I did not. I
These guys are from
always
New Orleans.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. They did a version of like the LSU fight song or something. They did a recording of it. Did I lose you?
I think I am back.
Okay, good.
That was weird. I
Is
didn't
it
really get
internet
indication
thing, maybe?
that I got lost until it just said that I had lost the connection and I was trying to reconnect.
I was asking you whether you had this album and whether you liked this song. Yeah.
I always enjoyed Better Than Ezra, but it was like a band that I never bought an album of. I feel like I just kind of knew their hits. Probably didn't know much of their catalog that I have never enjoyed.
I could definitely see it slipping through the cracks. They had something going on. They had this sort of, like Bayou type, this flavor, like a little bit of, Southern flavor to their thing, to their modern rock pop. That was, that made them unique. That's sort of what Live didn't have, was sort of just like,
Yeah.
just nothing special except for maybe that guy's voice, I guess. Yeah, I was a big fan. I think I saw them live at
I
the
have seen them
96.
live.
Yeah.
It was probably not their proudest moment. I think they were playing the power plant live venue in Baltimore to probably a crowd of like a few hundred drunks. But they put on a nice show.
I think I saw them at the 96.3 Holiday Hootenanny. And you know what's really crazy? I think it's very possible that they were on that show with Live.
Wow.
And Edwin McCain, and Cowboy Junkies or something. Is that right?
peak 96.3 right
Yes,
there.
absolutely. I did not want to see the Cowboy Junkies. But, the I loved the live and Ben and Ezra back to back. I went with Jesse Gomez.
Nice.
Um,
Jesse.
and I think I tried to ask a girl out to go with me to it, but she said no.
Dang. Yeah. I didn't know what she was making.
So fuck you, Better Than Ezra. You're not a big enough draw.
Not a big enough draw. All right. In moving along, I'm just gonna skip over a few songs that I just decided that they're just not necessary to talk about.
Okay, good. That's fine. You can skip them, but I want to guess one and make sure it's not one of them.
Okay.
Is it Len Steal My Sunshine?
No.
I don't.
Although
I want to talk about that one if it comes up.
We should talk about that when it comes up. I have I don't know. I feel like a unique hatred towards that song.
Same. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. So I
Well,
uniquely hate that song.
Let's see if it comes up later.
Okay.
I'd like to just have it not come up because it wasn't worthy.
I think we got everything out that we needed to say.
Prestigious #1, Billboard alternative rock chart, which I'm sure just was a completely objective and fair measurement of all songs. Obviously,
I'm sure it was back in the 90s. So 100% fair. Every single thing about it.
Yes. I guess the next song I was going to give mention to was so Alanis Morissette.
Oh man.
First on the scene in the summer of 1995, and You Ought to Know had seemingly 4 or 5 weeks at #1 on the chart.
Jagged Little Pill, good album, and Broadway show. I haven't seen it.
I recently saw the musical.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Tell me all about it.
I really enjoyed it. Not as much as my wife. She was
she loved it.
She was a big Alanis head back in the day, well before I met her. So she was really looking forward to it. It was in our season ticket package, and we went. I guess after reading nothing about the show, going into it, I just assumed that it would be a play about an angry teenager, and at one point a guy would come on stage in like a Red Wings jersey and be really mean to her. I think I recently been informed that maybe that wasn't actually a thing. I don't know.
That's what the folklore is. I mean, not.
Yeah.
So somebody told you that that's not really the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I should really do my research before I hop on.
No one asked you to know everything about Jagged Little Pill.
All right. Well, what? I don't know.
No, everybody knows the lore that if you don't know, that song is supposed to be about Uncle Joey from Full House, and that is a unconfirmed fact. So don't sue me.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah, allegedly. It's just my opinion.
Yes.
It's just my opinion. But that song is about
Dave, we love you.
If
you're not a monster. I don't know. Or in that case, we don't love you.
He could be a kid. He was young. And people make mistakes when they're young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he definitely did some stuff, in which case we hate him.
100%. Like if he did if she was too young or something, yeah.
Yes, we do not support that.
In which case people don't make those mistakes. Stop it.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I thought it was going to be like that, and then this girl was going to form a band, and they were going to like rock out, and that was
I would
musical.
assume that too. I would assume that.
But instead, there was a angsty teenage girl in it, but it was more about a family, and really the main character was like a upper middle class mom in suburban Connecticut who the family's kind of falling apart, and people are struggling with like everyday stresses, and she basically becomes like addicted to opioids.
Oh, Jesus.
While her family falls apart around her. I guess that's like the on the nose Jagged Little Pill part. And then at the end, through the power of song in the background and the love of family members, everybody is a little bit broken, but they come back together and you know embrace their flaws and their beauty.
And do um, they all have their little stories, or is it mostly about her?
Oh no, there's definitely little stories. I feel like the 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 teenage daughter is figuring out like her identity and her sexual orientation, and I feel like the brother has a strange storyline with and I feel like he experiences, but I'm probably butchering some of this, but that his friend has part is basically does goes to a party and does some bad kind of rape culture type things,
Whoa.
and that causes a kerfuffle at the high school,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to uh, figure out who his friends are.
What his identity is.
I think the father is having like tough time at work, and might have some feel like there's some infidelity going on or
Oh my
some possible
goodness.
infidelity. It's his family's really going
Sounds like a
through it.
Broadway play.
Yeah. Um,
Have you ever seen or heard of Next to Normal?
uh,
It's
no.
also a Broadway musical. And it sounds strikingly similar with different themes because it's about 15 years old, I think.
Hmm.
So the themes differ, but the concept of, each family member having their own strife and trying to deal with that, and then
Yeah.
it being put to music feels familiar. Um, Good play and good
Yeah.
album. Uh,
Yeah. They also just include some Alanis songs that are
they
not from
just
Jagged Hill, despite the name of it. But I think that was a good call, and
wait. So which
it's
song is
really
it? It's ironic, right? No,
that
it's
that is definitely in there and is
okay.
on that album. I assume that's probably going to come up on this list
It's
soon.
got to, but it.
At
Oh, we're
least
talking about the first one. What's it called again?
you ought to know.
You ought to know. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that one gets there's some rage in that
I
one when
love
it
that
comes up
part.
on
I love
Broadway.
that
Oh
part.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
The
like when one of the songs where you first get that feeling of like, oh, you can really get emo. Like you can actually try to like convey your emotions in a song.
yeah,
And if you hadn't heard that before, then that can be a real eye opener. I don't know. Maybe I'm by myself on that. That Jagged Little Pill is a
no,
opener to the concept of like emo music, emotion in music. But I had been like when prior to this era of music, I had been really into like Motown and Michael Jackson, and that's pretty
mhm,
much it, right?
yeah,
And so I was like, if it's not Motown or Michael Jackson, and then like they were conveying like lovey-doveyness, I guess, in those songs, but not like anger and angst. Do you think teenagers now have anger and angst songs? I guess they must have emo if they want it.
yeah.
That must be
But
new
I think
emo.
it's like, or I mean, at least a few years ago, I think if I like polled my students on this it would be like SoundCloud rappers who like take a bunch of like Xanax and stuff, and then just have like mumble rap.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's big.
that's kind of like the angsty thing.
That's big now.
I Yeah, or I don't know, has been. Yeah. Um. All right. So we get on with the songs.
Uh, yes. Go to the next one. Jagged Little Pill. We're done with you.
Okay. Um. Skip down a little bit. All right. The next one that seemed to have a kind of a multiple week stay was uh so we have the first appearance of I think several coming up here of Bush.
Oh,
With Come Down.
really?
Yes.
Glycerine and come down and stuff. Okay, this is a band I
Uh,
never got into.
yeah. I
Yeah, did you have
definitely
this album?
wore this CD out. I mean, looking back at it, it's kind of standard. I feel like I might have some weird Bush takes where like some of their later albums that were definitely not popular at all. I I I don't know.
Should have kept with them. I didn't know
I
that about
didn't.
you. You were a big Bush. You're a big fan of Bush.
I mean, never went to a show or anything.
You
I
never
don't
went
know
to a show.
don't know how big of a
Gavin. The guy's name's
Gavin
Gavin, right?
Rossdale.
Gavin
Yeah.
Rosdale, not Gavin DeGraw.
No.
Different dude.
Different dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have that much to say about "Come Down." Yeah,
Come Down, not a big song for me.
yeah, it was a big deal for a little bit, but it wasn't my favorite Bush song. So, um, moving along. Next one is Goo Goo Dolls. Name.
Okay. All right.
Travis
Yeah,
has take.
I'm a fan of that song. Okay, listen, that's a very fucking good song.
Mm,
it is a very like
I didn't like it.
absolutely brilliantly, perfectly crafted song, and it got way over fucking played. Okay, I get it, and it's annoying, and that guy's frosted tips were probably annoying to people or whatever. Um, what's
Johnny
his Johnny
Johnny
Resnick,
Resnick.
right? And like, sure, like he probably got too popular or whatever. That band got too popular. This song is a good fucking song. It it is a very emotionally savvy song. Also, I'm gonna go. Here's another thing. City of Angels is that's a good movie.
Wow.
I don't know if I can actually get away with that because I haven't seen that movie in about 21 years. But I was a big fan of it. I think I
I think
cried
you,
when watching it. Meg
I
Ryan
think
is
you should.
amazing.
I think you should rewatch it like this weekend,
I should rewatch
and then,
it.
and then I want you to.
I'll live stream
Yeah,
me rewatching it.
yes.
I remember being, but I just really loved, I loved Nick Cage, and I love Meg Ryan. Is that who it is even?
Yeah,
It is okay, yeah.
and you
And she
love
dies at the
Johnny
end,
Resnick.
so I'm just gonna spoil it for everybody. That's tragic. That's a good song.
No, it's
What
also
do you think about that song? You hate it?
I, I I'm not gonna say that
Oh
I
no.
maybe didn't like crank up the Google Dolls in the car a little bit by myself every now and then, but I I don't know. That wasn't my favorite jam. Just
I'm not saying it's my favorite song. I'm saying that it is
I'm saying
a
I'm saying I didn't really like it.
yeah. Okay, that's fine. You just tried to tiptoe around saying you don't like it. Um, I'm sorry, but it's you don't have to like it. You have to. I just have to make my point that I think is a well crafted song
Yeah. Well, I mean, as the singer songwriter of the duo
of the two
here,
of us.
I know you have just a appreciation for some of these things that I don't. My
Um,
Philistine tastes.
but you have really wonderful taste, Baker.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. You got me on that one. This is just gonna keep going this way, isn't it? It's just over and over. You're gonna make me admit to loving these songs.
I mean, that
Wait,
was
okay.
basically my secret motivation behind all of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Did I have multiple Goo Goo Dolls albums? I had that one. Dizzy Up the Girl. Solid album.
Would you
I
like
don't
me
think I
to
ever got another one.
name some of their other? Check out the old
Well,
discography.
we're not on. Yeah, because Name is a great song
Oh
too.
goodness, their first studio album was in 1987. These guys were around
They
for
were
a
around for
while
a while.
before they. So these songs, the 1995 album was A Boy Named Goo, and
Mm-hmm.
then Dizzy Up the Girl was 1998.
Yeah.
They then did not come out with another album till 2002's Gutter Flower.
Oh, I did not buy that one. I think I thought about it, but that was past the time. I'm
Oh,
sure I stole it off Kazaa or
they
something.
had Here Is Gone on it.
That's right.
It's
Not a big song for me on that one. Here's
yeah.
Gone. Yeah, they were over to me. I think that song was wildly popular, right?
I feel like it had a moment. Yeah.
Um, Boy Named Goo. I didn't own. I only owned Dizzy Up the Girl, so I wasn't a huge Goo Goo Dolls fan. I think I might have seen them live. It's possible that they were the fifth band at that holiday hootenanny that we were just discussing.
Sounds about right. They're
Um,
also this is the first time on this chart that the song comes up later. It got knocked off the top spot
and then it got back.
non-consecutively. It got back 3 weeks later in late October of 1995. People just couldn't stay away from Name.
It's the movie. It's City of
It's just
Angels.
too damn good.
It's Nick
Um,
Cage. It's the power of Nick Cage.
yeah. So in between knocking that off was Hand in My Pocket by Alanis
Okay.
Morissette.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Presidents of the United States of America's Lump
That's a great
had
song.
a 1 week stint. Yes, my son has uh, taken a shine to um, those guys.
President of the United States.
Yeah,
Good kid. Great
there's
kid.
a teacher at well, he's not there anymore, but at his daycare, who uh, moonlights as a DJ, and they had like Friday dance parties, and he came home one Friday afternoon and said, "Can we please put that Peaches song on the
Peaches.
TV?" And I said,
Mm.
"Sure."
Chef's Kiss.
And then
Great song.
he really enjoyed the ninjas that came out later on in the video, because
That's right.
dudes beating each other up. Love that kid loves to see it.
So does every little boy.
Yes.
Everything about beating each other up, that's little boy territory right there for sure.
Yeah. So
Um, Presidents. Wait, so Presidents of the United States. I recently completed making a an all-time countdown list. I don't know if I've ever shared any of these with you, but I have all-time countdown lists for like 16 or 17 bands, where I listen to every song, even the new stuff, and then I rank it from like in countdown format, like rank it from 1 to 50, and put all 50 songs in a playlist. And I had to, by the way, I do have a Better Than Ezra all time 50. That one was a no doubter. But I had all those live albums. I don't have a live one. I have an all time countdown Green Day, and then the most recent one I did was all time countdown Presidents of the United States.
my goodness, with 50 songs.
It's got 50 songs on it. Yeah.
I'm going to guess I have not heard most of them.
No doubt. And I have a favorite Presidents of the United States song that isn't on that album, the self-titled album. It's called Bad Times, and it's on an album that came out in like 2016 or something.
I'll have to give it a listen.
No, 2008. The album is called These Are the Good Times, People. And the song is called Bad Times, and it's my favorite Presidents of the United States song. But Peaches was number 2.
Okay.
And Kick Out the Jams was right above that. That's a great Presidents of the United States song. It's a cover, though. So you can't have that be your favorite song by a band.
Yeah.
What do you actually like Peaches, or do you like Presidents of the United States? Obviously, you said you haven't listened to much of it.
Yeah, but I'd say this is not a band I've been listening to for the last 30 years.
Totally. They have a distinctive sound, though.
I kind of had forgotten about them.
I like them.
Yeah.
I recommend
really
giving
cool.
more of their stuff a try. They keep the same sound forever.
Yeah, I guess I just really didn't realize they had been sticking around, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're still doing it. Yeah. What next? What's after Presidents of the United States?
Well, so after Name comes back for like 3 or 4 more weeks. Wow.
Stupid. That's stupid. It's a good
It's
song.
a long run of Red Hot Chili Peppers, My Friends. I know I'm just not really going to have anything to say about that song.
No,
Or,
I agree. I don't even know if I know that song.
I mean,
I was so not a Chili Peppers dude.
yeah, I was not much of one, or in relation to people that are. I fall way short. I think I had an album or two, but I don't know particularly why. And in a weird way, even though they like have longevity and continue to make music, seemingly like I kind of associate them from this era as like a slightly before that time band that
I agree.
I don't know, like I wasn't really into, and it was kind of just like a kid's a little bit older than me thing maybe, and I just like they just like missed the window for my efforts to dive into them. Or maybe I just didn't really like their sound that much. I don't know.
That
Definitely a
wasn't.
little bit different compared to some of these other groups on
I'd also
here.
say that was. What did you think of like 311 and Sublime?
Um,
Because I think that Southern California sound, that
Yeah.
surfer style of modern rock, was not for us, but it was definitely not for me. I get a feeling that you you weren't getting into any of those three bands.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I like for a brief period of time, like was probably pretty into that Sublime album, but like, yeah, I don't know.
We knew
Never.
people that were really into that stuff.
Yeah. I think I was kind of more like on tangentially on the outside of that. That
Exactly. I
circle.
knew it was something I should be associated with. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Let's move past the Chili Peppers. This is just not piquing our interest.
Yeah. Okay. Not interesting. But we talked about him for I think an acceptable amount of time. I'm a fan of the
Yeah.
drummer.
Yeah.
But other
Chad.
than that, Chad. That's right. His name's Chad.
He's a local to our locality.
That's right. That's right. So that's another reason I can't get in there anymore.
I think I had a family member who like went to high school with them or something. I don't know. Fascinating.
See, this is this podcast is relevant after all. This talk show has relevancy. You're famous.
Yes,
you had a friend that
That's
went
what
to
we've
high
learned.
school with him.
I really
So
just
it's like
wanted
1
to
degree of
actually
separation.
make that be the 2-hour thing. Was that my uncle, you know? So I don't know if it was my uncle, but I would have just ran with it.
Yeah.
About how he
I would have heard all about it. Like, tell me the whole story. What was it
Birmingham
like?
Groves with
we,
Chad.
we just had a whole Chad. Wait, it's not Chad Kroger though, right?
No, but I keep having that in my mind. So
That's
there's
the guy from Nickelback.
Yes, I mean his name might not be Chad. Maybe
I'm almost sure it's Chad.
It's
I'm
time
almost sure it's Chad.
sorry. The drummer is Chad Smith. Yes.
Yeah, Chad Smith. Yeah. Looks like Will Ferrell.
Yeah. That's how I think of him as well. He spent most of his childhood in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, where he graduated from Wasser High School in 1980.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah. I saw a TikTok of him, and he was listening to 30 Seconds to Mars for the first time, and they had removed the drums from it, and they were like, listen to this song you've never heard before, and they removed the drums from it, and they're like, go ahead and start playing the drums to it, and I think he played it like either note for note accurately or better than the original. and like, even like having never heard the song, he knew the moments to like build up and like get ready for the pre-chorus and the chorus and stuff. It was fascinating to watch. And
I'd watch like a whole series of drummers having to do that.
I think that is that TikTok, so I'll send you the like channel. I think it's an ad for a drumming like app, but it doesn't matter because their TikToks are great. And yes, it's often very, very fascinating hearing like drummers just pick it up and like just join into the band and be like, oh my god, this is as good or better than the original. And then I saw a video of the guy from 30 Seconds to Mars watching it, and he was like being like, oh, this is great, you know, Chad Smith's playing my song, and he's like making all these faces at it, and Jared Leto's there like making faces as well. But like, I'm not sure he should be so happy about that. Isn't it a little bit of an indictment of his drumming?
No, maybe he was just smiling through the pain.
He's just pumped that Chad Smith was playing his song.
Well, that's good. Yeah, his head was in the right place.
Exactly.
Just happy.
We're still Beefy Boy. This Beefy Boy has been making some progress. Have you noticed?
Yeah. Do you want to give an update?
Just a real quick update. Yeah.
Your whereabouts.
We just fought this.
We are about to move into 1996. So
okay, that's a good time to stop for a second.
Good time to stop. Yeah.
We are at the 4th level of the layer. We're gonna go through the rest of the layer here, and then we're going back to the regular dungeon. Those hydras are really, really difficult to kill, and they're kind of a scary part of the game. If you don't have a flaming weapon, because as the lore is understood, you know, when like Hercules or whomever fights the Hydra, if you just cut off a head, it just comes back. But if you cut it off with flame, it doesn't come back. So, what am I talking about? Who cares? Let's get back to the music.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, Beefy Boy, he's doing a great job. We're really not in a lot of danger here. And then I'm gonna fuck it up, and we're all gonna go home any second now.
Okay. Which, you know, that's fair if that happens.
Yeah, if that happens, it happens. Everybody's been warned. go on. So
You on with the songs?
tell me about the next song in the list.
Okay. So the next song, I remember this song being a really big deal, but um never really liked it. We go back to Bush. I feel like this is kind of like peak, like, I don't know, whiny sad rock. But
Yeah.
it's glycerine. Um,
So everybody's first song they learn on the guitar. Did I remember you learning this song on the guitar?
I
It's
uh
I think it's got like
I
two
don't
chords.
I actually don't think so. But that does, like, I mean, that would have been very fitting. Um, After you had gifted me a guitar,
Oh, I did. I
taught me to play a little bit, but I don't remember ever actually knowing how to play that song.
Okay. So never mind. It's a lot of people's first song to learn because it's
Yeah,
like I think it's got two chords and
yeah,
it's easy to sing and get a little bit of emo on it and yeah.
yeah,
But overall, we already talked about Bush. It's I'm like
yeah.
wait. You say you like Bush, but this is not your Bush song.
I feel like I didn't like some of their really big hits.
Oh, you're more into the back
So-
catalog.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
what's a song? What's a Bush song that everybody should know and doesn't give enough respect to? What's that? That's got to be on your list of like. There's
Well,
a
let's get out in front of this and say, like, I don't know if there's any Bush song that is like, man, that
that's a banger.
this catalog song was like just groundbreaking
You
sonically
know
or something like
that could be the
But
case though. By the way, Baker, I don't know them well enough to even say.
well, that's
Oh,
true, and I don't think that I do either. I do not celebrate their entire canon or anything. I mean, I feel like of the songs off that album that were popular, like, I was kind of just more into the more fast paced rockiness of, like, Machine Head. Not
uh
that I know if I have even a clue of what that song was actually about or anything.
huh.
I don't know. I mean, that song just kind of that was just like a good, like, go to the go to the sporting event, get fired
Yeah,
up before
yeah,
the third period, the
totally.
puck drops or something like that. But I don't know. That's just kind of where my brain goes with that album. Um,
What
what was
are
their
any of
second
these songs
album?
about? What's Glycerine about?
I don't know.
Could have been easier, but I don't know what could have been easier or what it means.
Hmm. Uh, Gavin Rossdale wrote the song about his then girlfriend, Suze de Marchi, as stated in an interview with Howard Stern. He wrote it in his London flat, feeling there was an ancient mystical element to the song as it was coming together. It still doesn't really,
That doesn't
I don't
explain
know. So
anything. He has no idea what that. He has no
it's,
idea
a,
what that song's
it's
about.
about a girl.
That's true. That's what most songs are
As
about.
many of these songs are. Um, yeah, I don't know. I weirdly, this is like one of those moments in the '90s where I owned that CD, 16 Stone, but then I had the tape. I think it was gifted to me by my stepsister at the time of Razorblade Suitcase was their next album.
So
Um,
you went
I think that had
backwards.
Swallowed on it. I kind of like that song.
Swallowed.
Yeah,
I don't even know it. That's awesome. I'm gonna listen to that one.
yeah. It was like they tried to keep it going, and I think they just kind of failed to. But
But that guy was
I'm just,
busy
I'm
being
just gonna say
married
it right
to.
now. That song was better than Glycerine.
Oh, there you go.
Take that,
Take that.
Billboard chart.
Take that. Billboard charts. See, Billboard charts make mistakes all the time.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure we'll
they
get to a
missed on
few
that
more.
Bush song. I bet I would have loved it. Um,
Who knows? Watch four more Bush songs come up as I scroll down, but who knows?
all right, what do we got
Um,
next after Bush?
all right. So next song, it had a couple different. It got interrupted for 1 week, but I'm gonna say that my preliminary analysis is that of all the songs, it spent the most time at number one of any of the ones we've gone through so far.
Okay,
Um, it was number one from December 30th, 1995 through March 16th of 1996, except for 1 week
it's a good
where
run.
it was knocked off. It's Oasis's Wonderwall,
Oof. Yeah.
which, I mean, if I think about songs from that era,
If we're thinking about quintessential,
I feel like it's very quintessential.
it is. I don't.
I heard we went to a brewery slash farm with the children this past weekend, and the old man who was performing. There's always somebody there.
Yeah.
He did a not great rendition of this song. So I have been thinking about it recently. It is very, very, very quintessential.
Yes. People love that band too.
Yeah,
People really got into
I,
it,
I
and
did have this album.
yeah. I never had this album. Uh, this song though is again another one where first songs you learn on guitar, and if you know how to play Wonderwall, you can get laid in the late '90s by playing it by a campfire. So that's important. um, uh, what's the song about Susan? Don't look back in anger.
Back in
I like
Anger.
that song better
Yeah,
than
that
this
was
one.
a favorite of mine. The other Gallagher brother
Um,
singing.
yeah. Okay, I'm done about Wonderwall. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But I wrote it down on my list of potentially most quintessentials.
That's fair. That's actually the most important point that you've made. That has been made about this song. Not anything about it particularly, but that it was
Yeah, well,
potentially the most quintessential.
I think when my list is coming together, yeah, it's really just there is no the criteria is there's no criteria.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just kind of a
Just
feeling.
something.
Yes. So the song was interrupted on for 1 week in March by 1979 by Smashing Pumpkins. Um, I was never really a big Smashing Pumpkins guy.
No, me
Uh,
either.
you know, definitely had their following, and
They
I don't
were
really.
they were definitely from the previous era though.
Yeah,
And this so 1979 is what you said.
yeah,
Um, but they were from the previous era. They were hotter in the early 90s.
yeah. I think that's fair.
When did the Batman with Seal's Kiss from a Rose come out? That also had, I'm fairly sure it also had the Smashing Pumpkins song on it. Where's that? Yeah, it's Batman 3, the one with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, and it had Kiss from a Rose and the Smashing Pumpkins song. You don't remember this?
Seems like I should
We should look this up.
do it. Hmm.
Kiss by a Rose is a good song.
The beginning is the end is the beginning.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah. You don't know that song?
1997.
Oh, it's not. We're
I
not
don't
even
know.
there yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
feel
like
like
that
this
song.
one has fallen out of my memory.
I bet if you listen to it, you would recognize it.
I would assume with probably any of these songs that I don't remember. Although I don't think I've looked at a certain one where I was like, I do not know that at all.
Totally. So, Smashing Pumpkins, not your top cup of tea.
Yeah, just don't have that feeling about
Same,
them. So
same.
you don't make the list, guys.
Some people
Sorry.
love them.
Yeah, fair, and I respect
I
that. But
respect that too. I think
you
that's
know,
a choice.
this never penetrated the northwest suburbs of Detroit, and
Not this
to these
particular
kids,
suburban vehicle.
yeah, must have been a Chicago thing, Chicagoland.
Maybe.
I feel like they have some connection to that area, but I
I
might
think
be
you're
making
right.
that up.
We're gonna go with that.
And we have you and I have a healthy anti Chicagoland agenda.
That's true.
So
We have a
deal with
platform.
it.
We have the microphones.
Michael Jordan, it's not
Oh,
that good.
dude, get out of here with Michael Jordan. I don't want to have that debate right now.
Do
Uh,
feel like at some point, whether it's on this show or not,
We're gonna
I
have a
don't
debate
know.
over whether or not I like
No, no,
Michael
no. I think
Jordan.
we would just have a celebration of like most iconic Detroit professional
Detroit
sports
professional sports
victories
moments.
of yeah.
If the Lions make the playoffs, I'll have you back on and we'll have that conversation.
Okay, the special commemoration.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk
Deal.
about Scott Mitchell throwing a interception for a touchdown to tie the game, and then proceeding to go into overtime and immediately throw an interception for a touchdown to lose the game. I think that's in a preseason game. This happened, but no, it can't be. They didn't.
Well,
Starters
I
didn't
don't
be in
know.
that overtime.
Yeah, I think back in the day of the preseason, you had to get your snaps. They weren't worried about the punishment on the body.
Is that true?
I definitely do think, like, guys definitely played more in the preseason back in the day.
but not the whole thing.
Would they have gone to overtime at that
Would
point?
they even done overtime?
Please just let everyone go home.
Right. This is against the Cincinnati Bengals. I know that much.
Wow. When you get together with the Bengals in the preseason game, no prisoners taken.
Yeah, so that's proof. It must have been like second week of the season or something. I'll never forget it. I think I was at that game. Okay.
Ty Detmer throwing 7 interceptions, but we could do our most devastating memories, and then
devastating is sometimes the same as the best memories.
Yes.
What's the okay, what's next after Smashing Pumpkins?
Okay, so
we're
Wonderwall
at 9:30 already. Dang.
Yeah, goodness, this might be the just the 95 and 96 edition.
That's good. That's great though.
So much future material. Or next time we get together in person, we can
yes,
over a card game.
Absolutely, we'll talk about it.
We'll do the real late 90s.
I'm tempted to do this with everyone I know, but it's our thing. I feel like now it's our thing. To just scroll through the Wikipedia. Are you on Wikipedia or are you on like Billboard or something? Yeah.
No, just Wikipedia. It's nice clean format. Yeah. Well, sorry. Let me get to the next song. So it's Alanis again with Ironic, as we predicted that would come up.
Yeah.
It just took a few months. I remember not really liking this song at the time, but I think it's because I was a cool, almost 13-year-old boy who was, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if there's a hint of sexism or.
Yeah.
I think that's a time in your life where maybe it's just a problematic mid-90s culture where I feel like I did not lend female singer-songwriters the proper respect that they deserved, if I may come clean.
You can, and you are totally forgiven.
I think I was a hater. And,
enlightenment doesn't come in single doses.
Yeah.
You have to continue to climb that mountain, and so you were just on the early part of your journey.
In the Jagged Little Pill musical, they do point out that, as I've seen pointed out on the internet many times since then, that the song is filled with things that are not actually ironies, but it always makes me think of that.
But that's ironic in and of itself.
I liked in the musical that they were willing to poke fun. Though I assume that Alanis herself was like a co-producer. But
yes, yeah,
I like that she had fun with it. Yeah.
But to be clear, that's ironic itself.
Yes.
So that covers it all. That covers the whole thing. I am at a loss for what to do with this situation in the game. I'm terrified of this dude up here. I am also scared of this dude down here. This dude down here has not noticed us yet, so I could possibly move away from him.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, you left. You missed.
I got lost.
You missed me talking about the game, and I think I'm going to take this teleport scroll and read it, and hopefully get out of here. Oh, I actually can hit that guy. I have no idea where I am now, but I'm safe from that problem. But we have this dude. I can deal with that. Okay, where were we? So Jagged Little Pill made a return. That's where we were.
Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. The next song had a month plus long run. Oasis, yet again with Champagne Supernova.
That is a fun song. Been a long
Yeah,
time since I heard it, but fun.
yeah. It's kind of interesting looking back at that and seeing that it was number one for seemingly 5 weeks. That you know, it was a song that was a little more, at least compared to these songs on the list, like much more like experimental and long form. I assume there was some sort of radio edit to it because I think the album version was like 7 or 8 minutes long. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's not quite the type of single that you would see on this chart.
I agree.
I'm kind of surprised it had that staying power. But Oasis was a pretty big deal in early 1996, I guess.
They were just so fascinating.
Yeah.
And they were so all over the press and just making a mess of their lives. And it was a big deal to everybody. And they wanted to listen to that music. But I don't know that I have any sort of opinion on the song. What about you?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying it was different sonically.
yeah,
It's good. Got some variety
that's
there.
true. That's true. That's
In
true.
1996.
I still stand by "Don't Look Back in Anger" as being my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I think I would agree with that from that album. Probably something else I'm forgetting. That was a little further down on the list. But
okay.
I the next two songs are kind of
Oh
interesting.
no.
Uh-oh.
I spent a bunch of time learning a craft for a skill that is not relevant to this character, and that stinks. I'm gonna. That was a waste. This is not gonna be the one, Bakes. I'm not gonna make it to. Oh shit! I pushed the wrong button. I'm almost surely not gonna win the whole game with this one. Ah, dang it! I pushed the wrong button again. Okay. Oh, I won't put that at 10. And I should put the fighting on too. Because I just like wait. It'd be like putting a level into the wrong thing, and oh man, I think we might be done for the night.
Okay.
Well, let's hear the next song because I have no reason not to do that.
Okay. The next song is Salvation by the Cranberries. Um I
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, I would not have associated this song with being like that super popular. Um
It's just
Along with the next song, I'm really like I remember it, but I'm really surprised it was number one for multiple weeks. I kind of want to do these in tandem. So
okay.
the Cranberry Salvation and then Mother Mother by Tracy Bonham,
Wow.
which I thought was much more of one of those songs that just like the radio station that we listened to
Yes.
growing up, 89X, just like um, as it always is pointed out by us. I'm not saying that either of these groups or people were like Canadian, but we always had the Canadian by
Yes,
law
that's right.
quotient of having to play certain bands and certain songs, probably more than one would expect. But
Our Lady Peace.
um, yeah. Which like they're not going to make the Billboard chart seemingly, but I feel like they would have made like the Metro Detroit Billboard chart
Yeah.
only by Canadian law. But yeah, both of those songs, like I remember these songs. It's kind of interesting that they were big hits. Or I mean, like the Cranberries, I just think of other songs that they had that were big, gigantic hits. Um, I don't know. I'm intrigued by this.
Cranberries, dude. That was earlier though, right?
Yeah. Like Zombie would have been several years before this.
Yes. Oh, I
Um,
killed off that guy just now, and I thought that was who was going to kill us, and I survived. I'm getting better at this, and it has a lot to do with sitting here talking to you. I make when I just start playing the game, I make bad mistakes. So the less I play the game, the less likely I am to die because I just am not playing. See, I've beaten the system. Okay, we're dead though. No, just kidding. This guy's nobody now. These guys are nobody. Oh my god, what did those idiots do? And Baker, I did not even go over to those guys. Okay, they came to me. What are they thinking? They see this beefy Minotaur tearing up the scene, and they're like, I'm gonna go over there and see if I can get involved in this. And then they did. They're all squashed little pieces of corpse now. They're so stupid. Why are you so stupid? Oh, these guys. Those guys. No. Oh, what the? Look at this. Okay. Things might have changed dramatically just now, Baker. Okay, so. Okay. I know that we just got started talking about this game for the first time in a while, but. And. Okay, here's another thing. I just was telling you that I screwed up and was training the wrong thing. I was training these swords.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just got gifted a gift from my man Akuaru of a new sword. I don't usually play swords. I usually play axes because axes are fun. And this one is flame. Resist poison. That's really helpful. But the intelligence thing. This one's venom and resist electricity. That's not that exciting, but it's pretty powerful. Let's see what the ratings are. So -2 to hit and 26 damage. This is -3 to hit, but 28 damage. We got a real conundrum on our hand now. I'm gonna stick with the axe, but I'm gonna hold on to that sword just in case I change my mind. What's the date? What's the date in our journey through mid 90s music?
We are at May/June 1996.
We gotta make it through 96. We gotta make it through at least 2 years.
All right, I'm just gonna go on to the next song then. It's Dishwalla's Counting Blue Cards.
I love that song.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of that song. Overall, Dishwalla is not a band that got it together.
Yeah, kind of quintessential in that, like, I mean, maybe the most true, like, one-hit wondery song that we've had so far on here, unless I'm just blatantly forgetting something.
I agree.
And I don't know, there's something very quintessential 1996 about that to me.
Couldn't agree more.
That song had a pretty big moment, and then even Travis does not own 3 different Dishwalla.
I don't own Dishwalla. I don't think they made them. I don't think those guys made it.
Yeah.
They're gonna the
behind the music on these guys.
I know, but they're gonna hate that I said that. They're probably somewhere writing their 8th album, being like, "What is he talking about? We have all these albums. I made them for him."
I hope when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're inundated by Dishwalla stands.
I hope I am too. I hope they send me their all-time favorite 50 Dishwalla songs and a countdown. I listened to that first album and was not a fan, and then because like this is one of those occasions of, so there's lots of one-hit wonders or 1 or 2 hit wonders where it's like no, they had a lot of other really good songs where they were pretty close, and maybe the radio didn't want them or the record label wasn't that interested in like promoting their stuff. Marvelous 3 and the main guy Butch Walker from Marvelous 3 comes to mind as that, whereas it's like, and then he had a falling out with the record industry and like, but he's still writing like songs that have hooks, right? Dishwalla feels like a band that like wasn't actually that good at writing, but they were like given the touch of God upon their upon their fingers and throats for this one recording, you know, and they're like this. They had no idea how to recreate that. No idea. Do you agree?
Another possible explanation. Well, yeah, I'd say another potential explanation for like maybe some of their struggles is I just have read that
did one of them die?
the singer or writer of the song received death threats for people being upset about depiction as a female. He really went through it.
No,
people did not like referring to her, the God, as her.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say that's why like the band fell apart, but it's, you know, something he had to deal with. Said he never thought he'd write a song where he'd receive death threats over it.
Wow,
Maybe he was
that's
just kind of turned off from the art form.
yeah. And he just wasn't willing to go places anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe he was um, just not willing to explore the deep reaches of what music requires or the art requires.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's sad. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on from Dishwalla. I'm not a
Okay.
fan of them.
Okay. The next.
But I wish that guy the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't be mean to each other online, folks.
Right.
All hundreds and thousands of you watching right now, be nice to each other online.
Maybe,
Like ask
this
each other what you're interested in, and see what he. I bet he's a good guy.
be interesting. This like there's some worlds where counting blue cars like started the culture wars that permeate today.
Whoa, that's you just I just realized that's very possible.
And semi-charm life started
Charm Life started the drug
opioid epidemic.
opioid epidemic.
Dang.
This is real. This is really possible. Uh-oh. These guys tend to mess me up. I should get... And I should finesse as well. Oh my god, these guys are tough to hit. This guy just slows me down. He's not good at hitting. But, oh my god, that was close. We've got some close calls. What is this? Oh, I don't... That's fine. I didn't mean to do that. Whew, I'm kind of stressed because I kept thinking I was gonna fuck it up and get our show ended too early. Go to the next song.
Okay. The next song is Pepper by Butthole Surfers.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That song made it to number one. I thought it was one of those songs that like people just like the cliche of, but never really got that high on it. The song.
Yeah. I have to scroll a bit. It's coded in yellow on the chart on Wikipedia, but I don't know what the yellow refers to. Oh, I'm surprised by this. The yellow indicator on the edge of Pepper indicates that it was the Billboard year-end #1 song. This is a little bit tough for me to believe that in 1996, and it spent 3 weeks as #1 on the chart, but it outstripped 12-week Wonderwall and maybe just some other more iconic songs as the #1 alternative rock song of 1996.
That's hard to fathom.
I would not have guessed that.
I would not have either, man. I don't think it played nearly that much.
I scrolled down to see the next time I could see a yellow, and just because we already brought it up, and then re-brought it up recently, 1997, Semi-Charmed Life spends many weeks at #1, and is the #1 alternative rock song of 1997, which totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Super.
I don't know. I wasn't into it. So we were in 8th grade when this is out. No.
Yes, or possibly the summer after 7th grade.
Okay.
In between, yes.
Next one. No, I don't care about that song.
Yeah.
Do people actually like that song? Do people actually like it? It's the name of the band that gets them.
I feel like people just were immaturely it'd be funny to say Butthole Surfer.
Exactly, or make the radio guy say it over and over.
I mean, I think that's probably was my main enjoyment as a 13-year-old boy.
Absolutely. But I didn't listen to the song because of that.
Yeah. So the trivia question with the next song.
Let's go.
I recently heard this song and I was like, I do remember this song. Probably a song I haven't heard in 25 years.
I might not.
The next song, its title is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words long. I'd be very impressed if you pulled this off. This was definitely more of a, I mean, you might correct me and say that you own 12 of their albums and recently made a top 50 list, but that would be surprising.
Yeah.
I think even if you gave me the name of this song and I heard it, I might not be able to name the group. So maybe that's all to say you don't know this. Do you want to take a guess?
No, I don't. I really want to. I really want to have something that with a long name, but I can't even.
So
think
the
of
song is
yeah.
The song is "Standing Outside a Broken Phone Booth with Money in My Hands" by the Primitive Radio Gods.
Okay. I know the name of the Primitive Radio Gods more than that song.
Okay. I don't know if I know another song.
I wonder if the modern rock, charts were just a weird place at this time, where sometimes just like some one college radio station would love the song so much and it would make it really popular or something.
True. Well, it also spent like 5 weeks at number one, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
Yeah.
Such
5 weeks.
low key song.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go listen to it. Of course, I know it. As soon as we hear it, we'd be like, we know this song.
I mean, I know the song.
I never knew its name till you said it right now.
Yeah, maybe it had like a clever abbreviation or something. I don't know.
I know for sure I know the song, but I never listened to that album. Never even thought to do so. It fits in the category of things like Len and the Verve, where I'm like, I don't want this.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's slide ahead to September 1996 then. For 1 week there was Pearl Jam, Who You Are. I'm gonna say that I had friends that were very into Pearl Jam. That was not really me.
Yep.
I without hearing this song, I actually cannot like hear the song in my head.
Who You Are?
Yeah.
Me neither.
It just doesn't really strike my Pearl Jam strings.
Agreed.
I'm sure I'd know it if I heard it, but I have nothing to say about this song.
Okay, next song then.
It's 311's Down.
No. Oh no, that's not my jam.
Like you predicted this would happen. I don't really have anything to say about that song. And in efforts to get through the rest of 1996, we then have Eels, Novocaine for the Soul.
The Eels?
Yes.
Are they the Got You Where I Want You?
No,
that's something else.
No.
I like that song, but it's from way earlier. That's the Flies. That's the Flies.
That's the Flies. That is the Flies. I feel like I'd associate that with a movie, some teen movie of the time.
So the Eels, I remember vaguely, not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't think I really.
But it's strange that there were some songs in this early part of '96 that were in my wheelhouse, and then we kind of wandered off from my wheelhouse. But what really is the fact is I didn't really care for any of this stuff till '97, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's the.
No. This is more fascinating this way. It leaves it in a good cliffhanger.
I also kind of forget how young we still were.
Oh God, I can't.
1995 and 1996, like, man, who would have trusted our music opinions at all anyway?
No, who did?
As we have said, not saying that these songs are great. Some of them, maybe. All right. Then we do have Sublime. We mentioned earlier.
What? Santeria?
Predicted the 311 and Sublime era here. What I Got came out in October of 1996, which was the first single. Maybe not.
Okay.
But I feel like it was before Santeria for some reason. I just looked up at the game. What's happening?
So I was really scared in that fight with the spiders, and I used this Akuaru skill called Duel. And when you can basically say, I don't want to fight all these things. I want to fight this guy one-on-one. And we go into an arena like this, and all these spectators are watching us fight to the death one-on-one, and nobody leaves until one of us wins. And so I have to beat this guy one-on-one now. And I think I can beat him one-on-one. I don't think I could beat him with other people. I'm going to put on this sword and try to smack him 3 or 4 more times, and then he's dead. Except for I think this thing next to me is also a monster now. Yeah, it's an ice replica of that monster, so now I have to fight that, I think. But I smashed it. Oh, gosh. I'm doing really well at this, Baker. Surprisingly well. I need to heal up, but they don't usually like you healing up in the arena. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, yeah. Akura's like, get out of my arena. Okay. Okay, see, this is so much better. I'm gonna have to stop playing the game though. I think I'm getting very stressed. So we're gonna move back over here, and then I'm gonna stop playing. I can't even hit that thing. And
we also only have one more song.
you made it.
I'm back. That was
okay. You sound just as good as ever. You sound fantastic. You know what? Those updates are important. Some security person on the IT team has been working hard to make decision to do that update, and that's important. Okay, I'm tired. And I have successfully not killed this character for 2 full episodes. Let's make it all the way, and let's hear that last song, and then let's hang up.
So yeah, it's very fitting that we.
It's closing time. It's closing time. I could beat you to it.
I brought up earlier, and it is Bush's Swallowed.
Oh,
which,
no way!
The
Really?
The universe is telling us that you need to listen to.
I need to listen to that song.
The song. Sales entire catalog.
Yes, absolutely. I thought you were gonna say it was Closing Time by Semisonic, and I was gonna be like, that's perfect for this moment.
Very, very apropos as well.
Oh, I was gonna be so excited about that. Yeah.
I don't think would anyone have questioned that.
Yes. No, I don't think anybody would have questioned
that. Just edit that part out and yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to this song. I'm gonna call you, and we'll talk about that song, and then we can continue this game in just our casual time, just hanging out next time I get to talk to you. And this is an excuse to have to hang out with you again because I need to hear the 97 list.
Okay.
But before we do that, as a reminder, you said that this was something that came up because your lovely wife said she absolutely did not want to have this conversation.
Yeah, and I think as we've had this conversation, I do kind of weirdly care about this stuff, and I really can't picture anyone else in my life accommodating me talking about this. Like,
I find that.
So I think while I had my reservations, I did do the assignment correctly and pick something that I wanted to talk about that no one else really has the time for.
Yes, you did.
So thank you for indulging me, Travis.
You're welcome. I would absolutely do this over and over again. This could be its own spin-off show, but we are not qualified for this.
Well, yeah. I do think there's a spin-off available where we, dive deep into a song and really scour the Wikipedia page of the artists who made it.
Wander around on those and learn more about the songs.
We find out who exactly was giving them death
behind
threats.
The music.
Yes.
And but like completely amateur conspiracy theory version of it. I think we're onto something. I think we're about to become content millionaires.
Most likely.